Hello, I'm looking at your ad from Craigslist, and I want to say I think it may be very possible that it's a good match. I'm looking for a place that I can do my work when I'm around. You say that one of the males is a part-time male. I assume that's not referring to he's a part-time male, part-time something else, but rather part-time living there. And actually that would probably describe me because I travel. I do a circuit between LA and San Francisco. And the work I do is it's a social media project that I am working on, and I work independently. It's my own thing. I live off of savings. I'm 58 years old. I was married for 33. I'm actually still married, 4 years now, though my wife and I are separated. We have 3 pieces of property. We also each have retirement accounts. So that is what I'm living off of, and there's no problem. I'm fairly frugal. I'm not wealthy, and I'm hoping to become wealthy actually, and I think I will. But I don't need it. If I never become wealthy, I'm fine. I have enough money. That's very nice. Certain advantages to growing older, especially if you've lived your life in a way that allows you to do something like this. I feel very blessed. So, about me, positive. Well, I'm not going to get into what I talk about on my social media website other than to address this ad. Positivity is the most fundamental part of what I do. It's always coming back to that. How to take whatever in life and be positive about it. I operate in different ways. One of them happens to be in a humorous way, and I actually believe that's how I'm going to become known. But I'm also got a whole very serious side to what I'm doing. And what I want to say is, if I live with you, you're welcome, or before you're welcome to look at my website. But I draw a very definite line. What I do with people in my private life, I do is separate from all this stuff that I'm working on all the time. And I actually look forward to being in a household where everybody's busy, and we're not there mainly for our social interaction. Although I'm a social person. I like to talk to people, kind of keep up with news, if whatever they want to share. I'm not nosy, and I really don't love it when people get too nosy about my life. But on the other hand, I have nothing to hide pretty much. So, and I talk about it on my website. So I'm okay. But I think at home, I would, it's very possible that I might really want to say, I'd rather not talk about that. Unless unless it was an issue that you thought was important. You need to know about me. Anything that's relevant to who I am vis-a-vis you or the house, of course I would not withhold anything that you need to know about me. But in terms of my day-to-day life, I might not really be all that interested in telling you what I did today. Although, you could ask. I don't have a problem with you asking, but that might be, I'm home, I'm just going to go up to my room and chill. I'm sure everybody else in the household has those times too, so I'm very much, great, good. Detail-oriented, team-oriented attitude. Well, again, team-oriented is, hey, let's do this, let's work it out somehow. I'd be flexible. I'm willing to see things. I try to see things from other people's point of view and adjust my sense of when I come to a situation, I come with my sense of what's going on. But I know I don't know everything. I don't know it's the tip of the iceberg. And what else is there? It's for me to be open to. So, in my life, just going on to your things that you're talking about, detail oriented. Yeah, well, my life is about very about paying attention to details. Because I've been living on my own, I travel. I had a dog with me until November 24th, who was with me 24/7 pretty much. I would take her everywhere with me, everywhere that I thought was safe for her. So I have to be always thinking about this, always in different places. And the one positive thing of her being gone is that I no longer have to think of those things, but otherwise I miss her. I wish I had her with me, but things happen. So anyway, the fact that you've got 2 dogs, I love dogs. All dog, there's really never been a dog that, well, I've met some crazy dogs, really that just, well, that have been abused and are impossible to get warm up to, but I don't mind dogs that are very, well, people apologize to me when their dog jumps up on me, and I say, look, the dog's just being a dog, dogs are they're loving and they want to interact, and of course I don't care, so what if they rip my clothes. That's not actually a much more common thing. I frequently am listening to something with my earplugs here, my purple earplugs, purple's my color, while I am recording on my recorder here. I often wear this around my neck, and I often use a camera. I use this a lot. So one of the things with dogs is, especially if I'm wearing this guy, and it's hanging down like this, and dogs come up. Just happened yesterday. This dog comes up and jumps on me and yanks the things out of my ears. Hey, I don't mind. Dog wants to jump up on me. If it's too much, I say to the dog, you stop, stop. Sit down, young man or young lady. Sit. You're a good girl, good boy. Don't worry about it. Just please stop. You gotta stop. Too much energy. Slow, calm down. When I was almost 50, I went back to school to become an occupational therapist. And one of the things we learned a lot about was neurologically, to look at people neurologically and to understand things like deep pressure, pressure calms. The right kind of pressure. Put your hands on a child who's freaking out, and calm down. Look at me. It's okay. Tone of voice, all that stuff. And dogs are, they're completely, they don't have all these ideas to confuse them. They just respond to neurologically aware efforts at dealing with, at telling them, yes, you can do that. No, don't do that. So anyway, I love dogs. I'm very happy I have dogs. And I would definitely give them attention. I'll give them more attention than I'd give you guys, probably. Because dogs are easy. And dogs, I can say anything to them. Doesn't matter. They don't ask me to tell them more. Just boom. So I'm much more than pet tolerant. I love to be in a house with a couple dogs. Okay, what else are you? Willing to resolve issues in a professional, courteous manner? Well, yeah. And, I skipped over independent, but I've been living by myself since last April. Dealing with whatever I deal with, whatever mistakes I make. I travel a lot, and I have, every item that I have has a purpose. I try to free myself of stuff that just is hanging around because it gets in the way. Everything I care about in this world materially fits into my minivan, Sienna minivan. And my bed, too. And it used to be for my dog, too. We had no problem. It was cozy, but no problem. It was no problem. And so, I'm independent. Living experience within a roommate-style environment is a plus. Well, I've lived with one person for 33 years. That requires a lot of adjustment. But I've lived, way back in college. I have roommates. I'm okay. You don't have to worry about it. That's what I'm saying. I can look you straight in the eye and say, we'll work it out. It's the Beatles say, we can work it out. We can. They say life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting. And that's what I always try to think of. When I have something that I need that's really important and I need to do something, maybe mark out these are the boundaries. I work, in fact, just somebody who I was some young woman who I was being very friendly to, all of a sudden asked me for $60 to help her pay for the phone bill. And at first I went through a period of going, I'm a little angry, I feel like I'm a little abused and blah, blah, blah. But I just said, I'm just going to go up to her, be nice to her, because in a sense I was the one that started this just by being nice to her, so I'm not going to change on her. I'm going to still be nice. Go up and say, I'm very sorry, I can't do it. But don't feel bad that you asked me, even though I did feel she shouldn't have done it. It was just not appropriate. But I'm not, and so just say no, but with a caring way. I care about this woman's feelings. And I feel good about that. That's actually somewhat new in my life, but I feel I'm doing it, and I'm happy I'm doing it. And I hope I'm not blabbing too much, but that's part of what I'm saying, that in the household, I'll be kind of quiet, especially about what I'm doing, because I spend hours a day blabbing. In that, if I'm sharing this living space with you, a little bit, mainly that, but of course that's not to say I'm unfriendly. I like to talk to people. So anyway, stable source of income. Yeah, that's I've got the money. It's there. On the issue of how long. Okay, the reality is at this point is that I do not have any idea how long I would like to live there, and it's very possible it could be as short as 1 month, but it could be years, possibly. But I at this moment, no, I don't think it's years. It's somewhere between a month and a year, probably. So that's why I would do the month to month. No drug usage, non-smoker. Yep. Check my background if you want. I don't have a problem. Drinking in moderation is fine. Yeah, I enjoy sipping good quality bourbon, and I've just discovered Spanish brandy, which is good. I put it in flax milk, and it tastes really good, and it's somewhat healthy. But the reality is, the 2 bottles that I have, I'm looking over it. I bought that bottle of bourbon. It's a good one. It's expensive bourbon, and I bought it while I was in Brooklyn, back at the middle of February. I bought it, and it's still got a quarter left. And I drink from it every day. I'm a sipper, and I do it for the taste and the hotness. This is 50% alcohol, so it's real strong, and I never get drunk. So anyway, every once in a while I like to get a little, feel it. But something I've learned in my life is the older I get, the more quickly I go from not drunk to sick or just a headache. I don't get drunk that much anymore. I'm more likely to go to the hangover stage first. And so I don't do it. That's drinking. Tidiness. Yeah, tidy. Well, living in a car for almost a year. On that score, I stay in motels whenever I'm in a mode of publishing, which really requires me to sit in one place. And actually, that, I would say, is the reason why I want to have a stable place. Even though I'm going to be traveling, I want a place where I can say, okay, over the last 4 days, I met 30 people, and I was filming or recording after I've gotten their permission, tell them what this whole thing is about, I get them involved, and then then the work that I have to say it's hard for me, and that's why having a place, and again, a really neat place where that it's just a place that's around me, that everything is fine, and it encourages me to think about everything I'm doing carefully. I think that's a good thing. So I'm happy that you guys are very neat and tidy. It's a good thing. So anyway, I'm not sure I answered every question you have, but maybe that's that. Maybe I introduced myself enough that I'd be happy to come in and talk to people further. Okay, so with that, I'll